Good evening, Draftaholics, and welcome to Draft Punks. My name's Sam.
And I'm Adrian, and welcome to our very first draft guide for Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. We'll be reviewing the hold set card by card. This video is looking at the multicolored cards. Now, Sam, how will we be grading our lovely cards?
So we're going to be using the tried and tested A to F scale. So at the very top, we've got S tier. These are cards where you are a bad person for playing these in Limited, and you should feel bad. Those are cards like Dreadfeast Demon or Halana and Elena. We've then got A's, which are cards that channel all of the fun in the game to your side of the board. Those are cards like Dream Shacklegeist or Welcoming Vampire. At B, we've got powerful cards that make Limited fun. Think Biolume Egg or Brian Coma. C's are the cards where if you don't like these, you probably shouldn't be playing Limited. These are things like Drog Skull Infantry or Cruel Witness. At D, these cards are bad, and if you put them in your deck, Richard Garfield will come to your house and ban you from Magic. Cards like Weary Prisoner or Honored Heirloom. And at the very end, we've got Fs. These are unplayable. It is actually illegal to put these in your deck. Cards like Demonic Bargain or Splendid Reclamation.
And also we have the sideboard rating. So cards that are best of 3 boomers might side in for certain matchups. Cards like Crushing Canopy. And then last category, we've got build-arounds. Cards that are like your last relationship. They're only really good if you actually put the work in. Cards like Hallowed Haunting.
All right, let's go. First card.
All right, first card. Up we go. Prodigy's prototype, the only blue-white card.
So Prodigy's prototype is 1 blue-white for an artifact vehicle. It is a 3/4 with crew 2. And whenever one or more vehicles you control attacks, create a 1/1 colorless pilot creature token with this creature crews vehicles as though its power were 2 greater. So this is the signpost uncommon for blue-white. Blue-white is all about vehicles. There's a couple of pilots floating around in blue-white that all have that text where they can crew vehicles as though their power were 2 greater. Yeah, Adrian, what are your thoughts?
I think it seems strong. I think it's strong. It's definitely got the benefit where it doesn't actually need to be crewed to have an effect.
Yes, yeah, true.
So if you've got better vehicles, you can attack with them. It triggers off himself. I like it. I think this card is neat. It feels like a C. Feels like a C+, maybe a B. Maybe a B? I don't know.
I could go B-. Yeah, so one of the cool things about this is one of the downsides of vehicles, and particularly in a vehicles-heavy deck, is if your opponent just kills all your creatures, you effectively get 2 for 1 because you can't crew your vehicle and you don't have any creatures. This kind of makes up for that if you can get 1 attack in with it because it makes something that can keep crewing it in the future. So yeah, I think I like maybe B- for Prodigy's prototype.
B- it is.
Next card.
Okay, next card. We got Silver Fur Master. Blue and a black. Creature, Rat Ninja, Ninjutsu for blue and a black. Ninjutsu abilities you activate cost 1 less to activate. Other ninja and rogue creatures you control get +1/+1. And our rat friend is a 2/2. What do you think?
So ninjutsu, for those who haven't encountered it before, means you pay its ninjutsu cost while it's in your hand, and you return an unblocked attacker you control to hand, and you put the ninja into play onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Now, most ninjutsu cards have some sort of combat damage trigger, so you kind of sneak them through and then you get the benefit when you hit your opponent. Silver Fur Master is kind of the lord for them. So the trick is if they block your 2/2 rogue creature with their 2/2, you can ninja it in, pump up your ninja and rogue creatures and potentially win some combats. And then obviously it has the benefit of reducing the ninjutsu costs. I think this is good. The fact that it doesn't have a combat trigger is a little awkward because you do have to return a creature to your hand to ninja it in. I suspect you're probably just going to be hard casting this.
Yeah, I think you're just going to be playing it.
That's it, yeah. So ninjas and rogues is the blue-black draft archetype, so I think there's going to be a lot of stuff to pump up. 2 mana 2/2 lords have a pretty good pedigree. So I think I'm probably happy with this one at B- as well.
Okay, I was thinking, depending on how good the blue-black archetype is, this could be a B.
I could settle on B. I think either
Just
would be
flat
fine.
B?
Sure, let's go with B.
Flat B for our rat friend. I'm keen to draft this one. This one looks cool.
We may or may not be just hard forcing ninjas in the first draft. I'm pretty excited for blue-black ninjas.
And there is definitely no shortage of blue-black cards. Next up, would you like to read this one out?
Next up, we have a mythic rare. We have Kaito Suzuki, is a 1 blue-black 3 loyalty legendary planeswalker Kaito. At the beginning of your end step, if Kaito Suzuki entered the battlefield this turn, he phases out. +1, draw a card, then discard a card unless you attacked this turn. -2, create a 1/1 blue ninja creature token with this creature can't be blocked. And -7, you get an emblem with whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, search your library for a blue or black creature card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Adrian, what do we think of Kaito Suzuki?
Kaito Suzuki is going to make waves in Constructed, and it's going to probably just flat out win you the game in Limited. This card looks silly to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm finding... Yeah, go on.
Sure, the golden rule is to never evaluate planeswalkers by their ultimate, but this one's ultimate is completely stupid.
It is. It takes forever to get there. It's like it's got to live for 5 turns and just tick up to get to the ultimate. So I don't think I'd pay too much attention to that. So I think like the most common case for this, so that the thing that makes it really cool is your opponent can't attack it the turn after it comes down. So you are guaranteed 2 activations unless they burn it out. So I think it's most commonly going to be play Kaito on 3, -2, and then on the next turn you can attack with your ninja. It'll get in for free, and then you can draw a card. So we're looking at 3 mana, 1/1 that can't be blocked. Draw a card, and then your opponent's still got to deal with the planeswalker.
This seems strong. I don't know if it's a crazy bomb, but I think this is definitely living in a land for me. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it's not. And so the other awkward thing is the blue-black ninjas deck, I suspect, is going to want to be attacking.
Yeah, it's going to want to bounce their stuff, right?
I mean, yeah, it's going to want to get their creatures off the board, but it's not going to want to have its creatures sitting back defending a planeswalker, right?
Now, this is true.
So I suspect that a lot of the time he's going to make his 1/1, draw his card, and then get picked off. And from what I've seen, the blue and black cards aren't very good at defending either. But that being said, the baseline of 3 mana, 1/1 unblockable, draw a card, plus soak up a bit of damage because your opponent has to deal with the planeswalker, that's good.
Yeah,
so yeah,
absolutely.
I don't think it's in A range for me. I think I'd probably give it a B to a B+.
What do we feel? B plus or A minus? What are we feeling?
I'll go B+.
Okay, B plus. Okay, we like B plus. But this thing, you know that this thing is probably an A in Constructed or something.
I'm curious to see how it plays out. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one to see. All right,
but yes, the official Punk's word, B plus. Next card, we are looking at Satoru Umezawa. We've got a 3 mana, 1 blue and a black legendary creature, human ninja. He's a 2/4. And whenever you activate a ninjutsu ability, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. This ability triggers only once per turn, and each creature card in your hand has ninjutsu, 2 black and a blue. Thoughts?
This card is bonkers.
Yeah, it seems real nuts, right, doesn't it?
So every creature in your hand is coming down for 4 mana, and every time you do it, you get a free anticipate.
It's crazy.
So if more
this
creatures...
plus the Rat Lord make it cost 3 mana. Ooh.
Yeah, this thing's disgusting. Yeah, I think this is.
It's like, what do you think?
Pretty. Oh, and the other cool thing is you don't even need to use its own ability, right? Because if you're in blue and black, half your creatures are going to have ninjutsu anyway, so you're going to get a free anticipate when you play. I don't know the card names.
Oh, you really cheap ninjutsu guys.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, this thing's sick. A minus.
I'd give it a straight A.
I'm happy with A. Yeah. Card looks.
Yeah, this thing
looks nutty.
This and it's got like 3 mana 2/4. So
Yep.
this thing's blocking, your Planeswalker if you played it as well.
Yep. Yeah, good stats.
Card's crazy.
Love it.
All right, next up, we got Kotose, the Silent Spider.
All right, so Comatose is a 4/4, 3 blue-black legendary creature, human ninja. When Comatose the Silent Spider enters the battlefield, exile target card other than a basic land card from an opponent's graveyard, search that player's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with the same name as that card and exile them. Then that player shuffles. For as long as you control Comatose, you may play one of the exiled cards, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it. Thoughts?
It's got constructed written all over it.
Yeah.
I don't think this is very good in limited. I think you're sort of like Lost Legacy sort of ability to like really hate on a card that, your combo player is playing around or whatever, is quite strong, but not in limited. And like people are rarely playing many duplicates of any particular card in limited.
Agreed. And even if you surgical extraction them, that's not even that good.
And sure, you get to play it. Maybe that's not bad. Maybe just the fact that you get to exile a card from their graveyard and then you play it.
Yeah, so
maybe that's good enough.
So I think the best card to compare this to is probably mascot of the Draft Punks, Owlbear.
Oh, where you just draw a card?
Right, 5 mana 4/4, draw a card.
But I guess cast their best thing in their bin. That's maybe not that bad at all, actually.
So yeah, it's got the upside where you can get some, if it's late in the game, you get some selection as to what you want to draw. The downside is, unlike Owlbear, if they kill Kotose, you don't get the card.
That's true. Yeah, it doesn't have the for as long as the card is exiled text.
Correct. Yeah. So you need your ninja to live to get your card. So I think this is fine. I'd be happy to play it, but it's nothing amazing. Probably C+.
Yeah. I was gonna go flat C, but I can get on board with C+. What are we feeling?
I think I like C+. I think Owlbear was probably a cut above your average C.
Excellent.
Next card,
we have the Oni Cult Anvil. Our first straight artifact, black and a red. Whenever one or more artifacts you control leave the battlefield during your turn, create a 1/1 colorless construct artifact creature token. This ability only triggers once each turn, and then you can tap to sacrifice an artifact. Oni Cult Anvil deals 1 damage to each opponent. You gain 1 life. How are we feeling about the Anvil?
I'm excited to play this. This looks sick.
This looks good. It's a little sad that they've put the rate limiting text on it once again. I can't just like sack all my tokens and make a million constructs.
Yeah.
But if Black-Red is playing a grindy game, this thing is going to be very, very strong.
I mean, even just on the face of it. So this is the signpost uncommon for Black-Red. Black-Red is all about artifact sacrifice. So there's going to be a bunch of stuff that synergizes with this. But just on its own, it's basically the cat oven combo in 1 card, right?
Yeah, because you sack that token you got,
it
just comes back. You just get another one.
Yeah. And
you just keep doing it.
And you can do it on your opponent's turn, so you can keep chumping with that token and then sacking it to drain.
Oh, now I didn't think of that.
So for those of you who are playing in Eldraine...
During your turn, though.
For those who are playing in... leave the battlefield during your... Okay, sorry, my mistake. You can't do that.
Well, you can still do it.
Just only on your turn.
Yeah, but you don't get your replacement boy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. For those who are playing in Eldraine, might have had the misery of coming up against the cat oven combo, which was 2-1.
Oh, it was unstoppable.
It was disgusting. You basically couldn't win if your opponent assembled it.
If you thought it was bad in Constructed,
yeah,
it was like 10 times as bad in Limited.
It was a nightmare in Limited. So yeah, this card looks crazy strong on its face, and it's a pretty ugly looking face, but it does look strong on its face. But looks combine it with the artifacts sacrifice synergies that are going on in this set. Big fan of the Oni Cult Anvil. I'd probably give this one a B.
Oh yeah, I was gonna give it maybe a B plus.
I could go to B plus.
B plus, excellent. But yeah, big fan of the Oni Cult Anvil, and again, these kind of free sack outlets, they generally end up being quite desirable in the archetype.
Agreed. Yep. Next card.
All right, we've got Hidetsugu Consumes All. Why don't you tell us about this one?
So this is a mythic rare saga. So for those who haven't played with sagas before, how they work is when they enter the battlefield, their first chapter ability triggers, and then on subsequent turns after you draw, their subsequent chapter abilities trigger. Now, all of the sagas in this set have a twist. They are all double face cards, and on their third chapter, they get exiled, and then they come back on their flip side. So we're going to see that on all the sagas in this set. So yeah, Hidetsugu Consumes All, 1 black-red. Chapter 1, destroy each non-land permanent with mana value 1 or less. Chapter 2, exile all graveyards. Chapter 3, exile then transform, and its flip side is...
Drumroll.
Vessel of the All-Consuming, which is a 3/3 enchantment creature ogre shaman. It's got trample, and whenever Vessel of the All-Consuming deals damage, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And whenever Vessel of the All-Consuming deals damage to a player, if it has dealt 10 or more damage to that player this turn, they lose the game.
This is an interesting one. I think the flip side is very, very sweet. Let me just go back to the other side.
Yeah.
However, if you're in black red and you got a bunch of artifact tokens hanging around, maybe you don't want to destroy all of the non-land permanents with mana value 1 or less.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that chapter is useless, but it may actually be negative because there are quite a lot of 1 mana artifacts that black red's probably going to want to be playing.
But then again, if you get this down early, such that chapter 1 doesn't really affect you much, or it maybe gets something of the opponents, binning in the graveyards, sure, that's sort of whatever. But the flip side, this is crazy.
Flip side is very good, yeah.
3 mana 3/3 with trample, so it's gonna be doing damage. It's gonna be getting counters. I don't think the second sort of clause actually will, trigger many times, but this thing that just grows and grows and grows, I think this is going to be very sweet.
Yeah, so I mean, I've heard a lot of people compare the flip sagas to Suspend. If you were playing back in Time Spiral.
Yeah.
Right, where you basically pay a cost, and then 2 turns later you get your creature, and a couple of turns later you get your creature, and then the next turn after that you can start attacking with your creature, which is important to note because the saga exiles itself and then comes back. The creature can't attack yet. So it does have summoning sickness. Oh, of course.
Oh, it doesn't have haste.
Correct. So some of them do have haste to get around that, but most of them don't. So you need to wait an extra turn to start attacking with it. So you'll play this on turn 3, then on turn 5, it will transform, and then on turn 6, it will start attacking.
Okay, I guess that does put it into perspective. You're 3/3 with trample on turn 6.
Yeah.
Not amazing?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think the fact
But if you've got removal, maybe you clear the way for it, start slapping. I don't know.
I could certainly see it winning games, but the fact that it's on Suspend, the 2 chapters of the saga just don't do anything in a game of Limited.
This is true. I mean, yeah, you've got exiling all graveyards, which really... 0 impact in Limited, especially in this set.
Set, yeah.
So what are we feeling about this one?
Not great. Maybe a D plus.
Oh, D plus. I was gonna give it maybe like a C, C minus.
I think I would, because I mean, if we think of a C as just the regular pawns of Limited, you're just cards that make up most decks, I would happily take your average common over this. I think this is gonna be pretty mediocre most of the time.
You reckon it's a D?
I could go to D, yeah. Which is a shame because the artwork is dope.
Oh, the artwork is absolutely sick. And Hidetsugu, what has Hidetsugu been up to in the past decade or whatever?
He's not having a happy time. All right, next card.
All right, so we've got up next Invigorating Hot Spring. So, Invigorating Hot Spring is a 3-mana enchantment. 1 red and a green, and it says Invigorating Hot Spring enters the battlefield with 4 +1/+1 counters on it. Modified creatures you control have haste, so a creature's modified if it's got an equipment on it. Auras, or counters, they're all modifications to a creature. And you can remove a +1/+1 counter from Invigorating Hot Spring, and you can put it on target creature you control. But you can only activate it as a sorcery, and once each turn. I don't know about this one.
Interesting. So I mean, this looks a lot like I can't remember the name of the card. 1 red-green enchantment from RNA that...
Oh, Fires of Yavimaya, but not.
Yeah, where it gave all of your creatures riot, meaning they could come in with a +1/+1 counter or haste, but this gives both.
This does give both, but it's got a limit. There is a limit to the numbers, and once a turn and a sorcery.
I think...
It feels like it's going to be so often. You're going to play a creature to open mana, you're going to try and give it haste, and then they're going to kill it.
But I mean, that would happen regardless, right? If you didn't have the Hot Spring, they would still kill your creature.
This is true, but now you've just wasted a counter. I don't know. I think it's good. This is something that I guess I'm willing to be surprised about. Like, this card may be very good, and I'm a hater.
And the other thing to notice is just, I think, as a self-contained card, and so this is the signpost uncommon for red-green. Red-green's theme is modified, so it's going to want to be playing equipments, auras, and +1/+1 counters. So as a self-contained card, the card looks powerful to me, right? Every creature you control comes in 1 bigger and with haste. It's like you've got a mini Helena and Elena on the battlefield.
Ooh, whoa, that's big words.
But then it works with all of your other modifications, right? Any creature that comes in with counters now has haste. All of your equipment now grant haste. Anything else you've got that grants +1/+1 counters also grants haste. Now, this comes with the downside of taking turn 3 off.
That's what I was gonna say, right?
Yeah.
This reads 3 mana, do nothing.
Correct, which has become an increasingly big deal over the last couple of years, right? Games of Limited nowadays tend to be really snowbally, and if you fall behind because you just played a 2-drop and then took a turn off, or heaven forbid you didn't even have a 2-drop and you're not even playing a creature until turn 4, all of the text on this card might as well just not be there because you're just going to lose that game. So I think if you draft this card, you need to be really conscious of how you're going to stabilize the board and then turn things around. So you want to make sure you've got good 2-drops that can gum up the ground and start attacking, which is a little bit of tension, right? Because I think red-green probably wants to be aggressive. It doesn't want to be gumming up the ground and being defensive. So I think this is a powerful card, but you need to play with it kind of consciously. You need to draft and build your deck in a way that is cognizant of it.
So we put the build around category on this one.
I don't think it's quite build. I don't think it's quite build around because I think it's just generally going to be good. But I'll probably stick it maybe at B- just because there are
B-. B- is higher than I was going to go. I was going to go C.
Oh wow! You reckon this is just like a cruel witness power level card?
It's just a bit. Yeah, it's like I reckon there will be far better cards in red-green for the modified archetype. This is it is 3 mana, do nothing. I'm willing to be showed wrong, but what are we feeling? Is there a compromise, or are we stubborn?
I think I'll be stubborn on this one, but I'm also open to being wrong. I could certainly see the format playing out where you can't.
So you reckon B- is what you said?
B-, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll let Sam's rating stick on this one. B- for Invigorating Hot Spring. If you disagree, get in the comments.
That's it, yeah. Let us all know. Let us all know what you think of these, especially the ones that we disagree on.
Yeah,
jump in there.
Absolutely.
Let us know. All right, next card.
Alrighty, we've got this guy.
Jukai.
Why don't you tell us about it?
Jukai Naturalist is a green-white 2/2 enchantment creature, human monk. Enchantment creatures are back. It is a 2/2 lifelink with enchantment spells you cast. Cost 1 less to cast. Enchantments are the green-white archetype theme. there are a lot of enchantment creatures at green and white. So this is going to reduce the cost of all of your sagas, your auras, but also quite a lot of your creatures. So that's a very powerful line of text. And as we've seen from the last couple of years, 2-mana 2/2 lifelink is just great. That would be a good
I think this card
on
is going to be sweet. This is going to be like the must pick for enchantments.
Yep.
As far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
This card is going to be dope. This is like, this has got big B energy for me.
Yeah, and the fact that it's a 2/2 lifelink obviously goes well with a lot of the things that the green modified stuff is going to want to be doing, right? You want to chuck your +1/+1 counters on your lifelinking creature. You want to kind of suit it up with equipments and all that sort of thing. So it's kind of just got everything going for it. So yeah, I'm happy to land on B as well.
Oh, what do we feel about B+? Because the more I look at this card on screen, I'm just like, my opinion's just skyrocketing about it. I'm just like, damn.
I think it probably depends on the build of your deck. If you can pick this early so that you've got 10 to 12 enchantments in your deck, I think it'll play out like a B+. But I think you'll have to make some concessions in order to build in that way.
Well, let's stick with B.
I'm happy with
the
B.
Draft Punk's official rating, B, for our Jakai Naturalist. Great card, very keen to play with this one.
And now we're seeing a lot of Bs so far because we're starting with multicolored, and often the multicolor signpost uncommons are particularly powerful.
This is true.
So yeah, don't think that we're just real softies and love giving good grades to cards. we're hard taskmasters here.
Yeah, we play very serious Magic. All right, next card. We've got Satsuki, the Living Law, same mana cost, green and a white, for a legendary creature, human druid, 1/3. And you can tap Satsuki to put a law counter on each saga you control, activate only as a sorcery. And when Satsuki, the Living Law, dies, choose up to 1. Return target saga or enchantment creature you control to its owner's hand, or return target saga card from your graveyard to your hand. I like it.
Me too.
I like it.
Me too.
I think this is the first really sort of pushed card that actually does some saga stuff. Because we've had 3 set. This is the 3rd set with sagas. Kaldheim had a couple of dudes that would interact with your sagas, but I don't think we've ever seen a card that interacts with your sagas quite like this one.
Agreed. Yeah, this is the first kind of saga build around that we've seen, and there are a lot of sagas in green and white,
and at common,
which is the first time we've had that. So this is cool. Now a couple of sorry, that doesn't apply to this one. Yes. So you get to speed up your sagas, which is particularly important in this set because the sagas turn into creatures on their last chapter, which you are kind of incentivized to fast track, right? You really want to get a creature out of your mana spent. So that's kind of even better in this set than it ordinarily would be. And then you just get to loop them.
Oh yeah. Oh, you traded off your saga and Satsuki dies, you just get it back.
That's it. Hidden use, you can also bounce your enchantment creatures back to your hand. So if they've got ETB effects, you can re-trigger them when Satsuki dies.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, lots of cool things you can do for Satsuki, and at a really low cost as well, right? She's 2 mana, she doesn't cost any mana to activate. So yeah, I think she is a build around. You're going to have to skew your draft quite significantly to make her good, but she will pay you off for it. She's very powerful.
Rating wise, my gut feeling is like C+, maybe B-.
I'd go like build around B.
Build around B?
I think if you put the work in and end up in a deck with 6 or 7 sagas or enchantment creatures with ETB effects, I think she'll be a real kind of must answer threat for the opponent.
Okay, you've got me. Build around B.
Yeah, but obviously if you don't put the work in, she ain't doing squat for you.
That is a very good point.
So,
but great card.
I'm looking forward to first picking that and doing the sagas deck. That sounds like fun. Next up, we have Grease Fang Okiba Boss. Greasefang is a 1 white black 4/3 legendary creature rat pilot. At the beginning of combat on your turn, return target vehicle card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step.
This is disgusting.
You like Greasefang?
I really like it.
So the trouble for me with Greasefang is, one, it's not in the vehicle's color pair. Vehicles are in blue-white. This is black-white. Not that that's a massive knock against it, but it means it's just going to be slightly harder to build a deck that's got lots of vehicles. And vehicles are a card that are difficult to run too many of, because if you draw 3 vehicles and no creatures, or 1 creature and they kill it, your board doesn't do anything at all. So in order for Greasefang to be effective, you need to have enough vehicles in your deck that you can reliably trigger it, and the vehicle needs to die. And because Greasefang only costs 3, if you play it out before the vehicle, they just won't trade with your vehicle.
No. See, you're thinking small ball. You know that big old 8 mana vehicle in this set? I'm putting that into the graveyard, and on turn 3, I'm swinging with it. That's what's happening.
Okay, Adrian's all about the vehicle reanimator life.
We're reanimating the big, crazy vehicles from the set, and we're piloting them with Greasefang, and we're going to smack them for a very large number of damage. I think this card is sick. I like it. I think if I haven't quite looked through the entirety of the set yet, but if there's a decent way to stock your graveyard in black or white, or maybe a colorless looter somewhere, I think the ability to put big vehicles in your bin, land Greasefang on turn 3, reanimate your vehicle, crew him with Greasefang, and then give him big old whack, I think that's really strong.
Now that you mention all of that, when we're talking about looting, I wonder if Greasefang would go really well in an Esper build, right? Where you get all the blue-white...
Oh, okay.
You get the blue-white vehicles, and you get the blue-white cards that synergize with lots of vehicles, and then you can potentially have looters in blue. Again, I don't know the set well enough just yet to know how many there are, but you can get looters in blue to help bin your 7 and 8 mana vehicles. I could see that working.
And not to be like boring, because it's the only rating that we have. I want to put this at a B level.
I'd probably give it a build around B, because I do think you need to... I think if you just stick it in a regular deck that's got a vehicle or 2... I mean, even there, it's fine, right? It's a 3 mana 4/3.
It just reanimates it for free. And he's a 3 mana 4/3. That's not bad.
The fact that it's a 3 mana 4/3 is kind of not bad. I mean, yeah, on its face, it might be a C+, but if you can put the work in, it's kind of closer to a build around B-.
What if we give it a B-? What if we give it a B?
All right, I'll go. Yeah, kind of build around B-. I'm happy with that.
Hell yeah! Like I'm keen to draft Greasefang. Very keen.
That's very much your kind of deck.
Oh yeah, let's reanimate some vehicles.
That's very cool. All right, next.
All right, we've got Naomi, Pillar of Order. We've got a 5 mana, 3 white and a black legendary creature, human advisor, that says, whenever Naomi Pillar of Order enters the battlefield or attacks, if you control an artifact and an enchantment, create a 2/2 samurai creature token with vigilance, and Naomi is a 4/4. What do we think about this? What Titan? It's Samurai Titan, right?
Yeah, it's like a
Samurai Titan with conditions.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like Cyberpunk Grave Titan. So Naomi is the signpost uncommon for black-white, which is all about controlling both an artifact and an enchantment. So there are some cards that pay you off for having... They'll give you one ability if you've got an artifact, and then a second ability if you've got an enchantment. And then there are other cards like Naomi that pay you off if you've got one of each, or at least one of each. I'm skeptical about how easy it's going to be to turn these cards on. That's a big ask. But that being said, there are enchantment creatures in this set, there are artifact creatures in this set, and then there's obviously plenty of just regular artifacts and enchantments. But the payoff is there. right?
It's a very strong payoff.
ETB and attack get a 2/2 vigilance. That's very powerful.
Samurai Titan, as I said.
Samurai Titan, yeah. Not to be confused with Grave Titan from Midnight Hunt.
No. Yeah, all of the Grave Titans from the recent sets.
There've been a lot of them, haven't there? So yeah, I think this one is going to depend on how easy that artifact plus enchantment thing is going to be to turn on. It's a little bit hard to tell just by looking at the set. They've certainly built the set in such a way that it's entirely possible. So yeah, if you can curve into this, I think all things considered, I think I'll probably just land on a B for Naomi. How do you feel?
I'm bullish on it. I'm B+.
Yeah, you like B+.
I think this card, I don't actually reckon it's going to be very hard to make black-white artifacts and enchantments work. I think it's going to be pretty easy to get your act together. And coming down on turn 5 as a 4/4 with a 2/2, that's nuts.
It is very, very powerful. Yeah. Sure, I'll meet you at B+.
B+ for Naomi. Very much a fan of this card. Again, I think I'm going to have a soft spot for black-white in this format. Or maybe, I don't know. I think I'm going to have a soft spot for most of the archetypes in this format.
I'm pretty excited about a lot of the archetypes. Yeah, there's a lot of cool ones.
So Naomi, looking good. We'll draft it. Get subscribed so you can see us draft it. Next card. All right, we have got Spirit Sister's Call.
3 black-white enchantment at Mythic Rare. At the beginning of your end step, choose target permanent card in your graveyard. You may sacrifice a permanent that shares a card type with the chosen card. If you do, return the chosen card from your graveyard to the battlefield, and it gains. If this permanent would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. What do we think?
The fact that it says permanent, I think, is very strong.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know, this again, being one of these mythic rares that sort of has constructed written all over it. I reckon if you're in white-black and you're doing artifacts and enchantments, and you're no doubt going to have creatures, that is 3 pretty strong bases covered for permanent types. And if you are every turn sacking like a creature token and getting back a nice creature from your bin, that seems really strong.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're sacking a saga that's become a creature. So it's an enchantment creature, get back another saga. I don't know. I don't think this is like a bomb, but I think it's kind of strong.
My feeling is I don't actually think this card is crazy good, but I can't wait to play with it.
It looks sweet. It looks super sweet.
If you
and
run
the
this,
art
you're
is
going to be doing
next level.
Oh yeah, the art's incredible. Yeah, I think I'd probably like build around of some sort. I think just on its own, it's probably not amazing because remember it costs 5, and if you get to your turn 5 and you don't do much, or all you do is you turn your 2-drop into your 4-drop, that's not amazing. So I think you're going to need to put some work in to make this good. But my gut feeling is if you do that, you can do some sweet things.
Yeah, I reckon if it comes good for you, I'd like this. This is creeping into maybe A for me, or we could be still living in B land, and this could be like a bit of a B or a B+ or something. What do you think?
I think build around B. I lean closer to B- than B+.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I guess, yeah, you do have to, like, again, I guess I'm sort of thinking of this as like in, you know, I've got my faithless looting brain on, where I'm just like, oh, it'll just be in the graveyard. Your best stuff will be in the graveyard. Nothing to worry about.
So that being said, though, I can think of some cool combos with this just from what we've seen so far, right? Play this in Mardu with Oni Cult Anvil.
Oh yeah, you make your token, sack the thing. If the thing's got a good ETB, you sack the token, bring back the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Right. So there's potentially some very cool things to do if you splash this in a black-red deck, where you can get some kind of super kind of. Oh, actually, I mean, you can't do that forever though, because it puts the exile it instead of putting anywhere else.
Oh, true. Yeah, you can't just loop it.
You're gonna need to find more. You're going to need to find more fodder to keep your engine going. But I could see some cool things you could do there. So, yeah, I look forward to building around it. But if your goal is to win the Pro Tour, I'm not sure I'd be first picking it.
We're B on this one?
B. Let's go build around B.
Excellent. Again, mythic rares. I mean, it's going to be rare that they show up in the draft, but when they do, it'll be exciting.
That's it.
Alrighty, next up. Infastic, yeah. Enthusiastic Mechanaut, our first blue-red card. Costs a single blue and a red, and is a 2/2 artifact creature, goblin artificer, flying, artifact spells you cast, cost 1 less to cast. I love this guy.
Me too. Yep. I mean, this is basically the blue-red equivalent of Jukai Naturalist, right? 2/2 flying makes the card type cost 1 less. There's lots of artifact creatures in this set and lots of just regular artifacts. Yeah, it's got all the same upsides that the Jukai Naturalist has.
Yeah, I really like it. And the fact that it's a 2-mana flying 2/2 is even better.
Right. And yeah, just like with Lifelink, you can just stack your equipments on this and keep getting in. Yeah, looks very
I love
powerful.
Love it. What are we feeling?
B.
B, classic B. They call us the Draft Punks. They're gonna call us I don't know, the Draft Bunks.
Good evening, Baftabolics, and welcome to Baft Bunks.
Very good. All right. I mean, there's not a lot to say except that we love it.
That's it. Basically, everything we said about Jukai Naturalist applies here as well. So just Control-C, Control-V.
Fantastic. All right. Onwards.
Next up, we've got Gloom Shrieker, 1 black-green, 2/1 enchantment creature, cat beast, has menace, and when it enters the battlefield, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. If Gloom Shrieker would die, exile it instead. Adrian, is this the second coming of Eternal Witness?
Well, firstly, boo to Wizards for adding that last clause onto it. I want to loop this thing forever. Why can't you just let me do that?
They're just taking away all the fun on our cards.
This card is mad. I think this is great. I think it depends on how good green-black is gonna be.
Yeah.
But just ETB, like, E-Wit Light is great.
It is very good. I think most of the time this is going to be Gravedigger with Menace.
Gravedigger with Menace. But yeah, Menace is nice though.
It is, and the fact that it can bring back your Gravedigger with Menace, and it costs 1 less. But yeah, the fact that it can bring back your sagas, it can bring back equipment or artifacts or anything else that hits.
Or maybe you channel away your channel land and you get that one back. Ooh,
that's cool. Actually, I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, you can. I mean, bring it back down to common. There's quite a few 6 and 7 drops with a good channel ability. So yeah, you can channel away early, get the benefit, and then play Gloom Shrieker, pick them back up, and either just channel them again or play them in the late game. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I kind of like it. But again, it's also got that sort of text where it's like, maybe it's also bad.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, maybe it's just not great. I mean, it being an enchantment creature is kind of neat. But my gut feeling is to put this at a low B or maybe a high C.
I'm with you, yeah. Somewhere between B minus, C plus. I think I'd go B minus.
Yeah, I can get behind B minus. This video is all Bs. But yeah, let's give Gloom Shrieker a B minus. We like it.
Yeah, jokes on the audience. We didn't actually have any grades that aren't Bs, so look forward to the Crushing Canopy effect, also a B. Helena and Elena's
Yes.
Helena and Elena's been reprinted, so that's coming back. It's a B.
Love it. All right, shall we move onwards?
Yep.
We've got a Gunjaw Uprising. Our first X spell, X red and a white sorcery. Create X 2/2 white samurai creature tokens with vigilance. They gain menace and haste until end of the turn. Each opponent creates X -1 2/2 white samurai creature tokens with vigilance. Ooh, here's my opinion of this card.
Go.
You either cast it and then win the game, or it's just bad.
Agreed.
This, I think, may be our first low C to D in terms of just general utility, you've really got to play this and then win.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit like a fireball that only goes face.
A fireball that only goes face, but then also gives your opponent a whole bunch of stuff.
Right, in that, yeah, you have to, as you said, you have to win the game with it immediately.
Yeah.
Now the numbers work out kind of interestingly with this. I probably don't want to read out all of the different options that it can have, but there are certain cutoff points for X that are more effective than others.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not linear. It kind of goes up in jumps. Someone in the comments do the maths for me. Let us know.
Oh, well, I think you want like even numbers, because if you make 2 and they make 1, they can't block your 4 power of guys.
Exactly.
If you make 4, they make 3. Oh no, it's not linear. Oh, it's very weird actually.
It is, yeah. Someone in the comments, drop a comment. Let us know what happens for like between axes 1 and 6.
Yeah.
And we'll get a better idea of this. Now, the other thing is this fits kind of awkwardly with the red-white theme. The red-white theme is attacking with one creature. There's a lot of creatures that benefit off that and help you do it. This is the total opposite of that. This is red-white, go wide. So it's a little bit weird to see it in this set, given that it fits so awkwardly with the overall theme. I'm not super high on this. Like there will be games that you lose to this and it'll feel like an unbelievable bomb.
Yeah, that's very true.
But there's going to be a lot of games where this sits in a hand and doesn't do anything because your opponent's not at a low enough life total for you to even fire it off. So I kind of need to see this one in practice. It's possible it's more powerful than I'm giving it credit for, but
maybe there's like a magic number, like you just always go X's too, and you don't even like, you just say that this is a 4-mana card.
Yeah, I could see that being the case. I don't know, but I'm going to put it on the Boros drafters of the world to prove me wrong. I think I'll start on C- to D+.
Yeah, I was thinking D+. You could, I think, optimistically C-, but I think D+. We'll watch our videos for when we inevitably change our rating on this, because we've been proven very wrong.
I'm open to being wrong on this one, but I'm going to start slow. Yep.
All right, shall we move onwards?
Next card.
All right, we have got Risona, Asari Commander.
All right, Rosoni, which is one of my favorite pastors, Asari Commander, is a 1 red-white 3/3 legendary creature human samurai with haste. Whenever Rosoni deals combat damage to a player, if it doesn't have an indestructible counter on it, put one on it. And whenever combat damage is dealt to you, remove an indestructible counter from Rosoni. What do we think?
I like it. I don't think it's, again, not a bomb, but 3 mana 3/3 with haste that sort of gets this, like, if it gets in, it's indestructible. And if you take hits, it's not indestructible.
That's it.
And very, like, if you're behind, you just block with it. You block with it forever, so that they can't take the indestructible counter off of it. Or if you're attacking, you're in red-white, maybe this is the only attacker, so it's going to get a whole bunch of buff from your rest of your samurais, which means it's got all these crazy abilities on it. Maybe it's really good, and it just absolutely plows through your opponent because it's got indestructible. Or maybe it's just very difficult to keep the counter on it, and it's just a 3 mana 3/3 with haste. I don't know. What do you think?
So, I mean, yeah, she obviously gets a lot better the more aggressive you are, right? If your opponent can't afford to attack you, or attack through your lone blocker, then she's, basically a 3 mana 3/3 haste indestructible, and that's very powerful. She's a great one for the red-white archetype, right? Because you just load all your equipments and auras and +1/+1 counters on Rosoni and keep the rest of your creatures back, and you just keep smashing in with your big indestructible trampling whatever creature. but they can't get a hit in otherwise because all of your creatures are left back to block. So I can actually see Rosoni fitting in quite well in the red-white deck. I know I'm going to lose to this, and it's going to be real frustrating. But yeah, I don't think it's bomb level. I think I'd lean on like maybe B-.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe a C+ or a B-.
Yeah, I was between the two.
I think this could definitely put some work in, but I think it's like how effectively can you keep the counter on it? I think that's the thing that really changes it from a C to a B. What do you reckon?
I think in a regular set, I'd lean closer to the C+, but in this set in particular, where red-white is all about the lone attacker, I think this is going to fit in really well in that deck, and I think I'd go B-.
Okay, let's go B-. The Rice-A-Roni commander is gonna be great. I think we're gonna smash some face with it. Indestructible, hasty friends, and in the red-white deck where your lone attacker becomes very good.
That's it. Next card.
Hell yes. So next card, we've got Ryu, the Storm's Edge.
Not to be confused with Raimi. Ryu is a 2 red-white 3/3 first strike. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, untap it. If it's the first combat phase of the turn, there is an additional combat phase after this phase. I just realized I read out the last one. I was excited. What do we think of Ryu?
Seems good.
Seems very good.
Seems very good. Yeah, it's like it's on theme, red white, samurai warrior attacking alone. Untap it, have another combat phase.
Which is one of the more powerful things you can do in limited.
Re-trigger all your stuff.
Yep.
And even if Ryu's doing the attacking, your boy's got first strike.
Yeah.
So that's a tricky combat step to navigate anyway for your opponent.
That's it. Yeah. So even if you have no other creatures in your red-white deck, if your opponent doesn't have a 4 toughness creature, you're getting 2 hits in with your 3/3 first strike.
Yeah, this is basically a 4-mana 3/3 with double strike and vigilance.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Yeah. And again, just with all of the other red-white cards that are going to benefit the lone attacker. Sorry, I should have specified it's lone attacking samurai or warrior. But yeah, with all of the other cards in the format that are going to benefit that strategy, this card looks like an absolute beating.
Yeah, I like this. Are we talking high Bs or low As?
Yeah, it's kind of where I am. B+ to A-.
Oh yeah, let's give this a B+.
I'll go B+.
Hell yeah, yeah. We like Ryu. We think this one's good.
We like Ryu.
All right, we got more cards to come. We've got Asari Captain back to the uncommons. We've got a 5-mana 3 red and a white creature, human samurai. It's a 4/3 with haste. And whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each samurai or warrior you control. I think this is great.
I do not. Sell me on Asari Captain.
You don't think it's great?
Sell me on Asari Captain.
Well, it gives all of your samurais or warriors, like, half exalted. It's mad. Like, if you have... Let's say you've played a 2-drop samurai, a 3-drop warrior, then a 4-drop samurai. Asari Captain comes down, and then you either attack with your best dude for 1 billion, or you attack with Asari Captain straight away for 1 billion. Continuing your hasty, aggressive beatdown. I do quite like it. I think this is going to be fairly strong.
The problem is that lack of toughness buff, because you take the line that you said before where you go 3-drop samurai, 4-drop warrior into Asari Captain, swing with Asari Captain, and they block with their 3-mana 3/2.
That is a good point, actually. Yeah, I didn't pay a lot of attention to that. I was very excited by the big power number. Maybe you're right. Maybe this isn't very good. Maybe this is very middle of the road, sort of like on the low side of signpost uncommon.
Yeah, like the best thing possibly to do with it is keep swinging with your 2-drops. Right?
Right.
Turn your 2-drop into a 5/2 and force them to trade their 5-drop for it. But in a lot of limited games, they'll just put their 2-drop in front of it.
This is true. Yeah, that's a good point.
So it does turn your lone attackers into a big deal. I don't know if there's a first strike granting equipment or aura in this set. There is a common combat trick that's a red instant that gives +1/+0 and first strike. So maybe if you draft the Asari Captain, you take as many of those as you can find. I could imagine I could imagine that being a reasonably effective strategy. But yeah, on the surface, I think I'm maybe C+, maybe even a C.
Let's go C+.
Okay.
We feel good about C+, yeah.
Okay.
But yes. Next card. Why don't you tell us about this one, Sam?
Oh, I would love to tell you about this one. All right, we're going to need a novel to explain this this mana cost. This is Tamiyo, Completed Sage. She has fallen to the Phyrexians. She is a 5 loyalty legendary planeswalker Tamiyo. She costs 2 green-blue and a hybrid green-blue Phyrexian. She has completed, which means that green-blue hybrid Phyrexian can be paid for with green, blue, or 2 life. So you can pay for her, with 2 blue-green, and then an additional blue, an additional green, or 2 life. If you pay with the 2 life, she comes in with 2 fewer loyalty counters on it, which I think is a really neat way to kind of balance Phyrexian mana a little more. Cool. Now we're done with the mana cost. Deep breath. +1. Tap up to 1 target artifact or creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. -X. Exile target non-land permanent card with mana value X from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of that card. -7. Create Tamiyo's Notebook, a legendary colorless artifact token with spells you cast cost 2 less to cast and tap draw a card. Thoughts?
Strong in limited, strong in constructed. I mean the whole like lock down their best thing forever and just tick up and up and up and up. And then 3 turns later, you can take a turn off from that, make a notebook that draws you a card for free every turn and makes all your spells really cheap. That seems really strong. And on top of that, you go down and make a thing from your graveyard.
Agreed.
Just like,
yeah,
you like that creature, just get it back. Fun fact, X can be 0.
True, yeah, you can.
So if you got an Ornithopter in there, that's a free Ornithopter.
Love it. Yeah, no, I think I agree with you. I think in most games you're probably just going to be riding that +1. But I could very much see her playing out a little bit like Sarkhan the Masterless from War of the Spark, where you come down, tick her down, bring back your best 4-drop from your bin, and then you've got your best 4-drop plus a planeswalker that the opponent now needs to deal with. I like everything about this. I like all of those play patterns. I like the fact that she's got a flexible mana cost. She can come down as a 4-drop or a 5-drop. Big fan of everything I see here.
I'm feeling this card's quite strong, and my initial thought is A-.
I would land on A. I'm even tempted to chuck Tamiyo in the S tier, but
oh damn!
I think I'll go A.
Okay. A for Tamiyo. Completed Sage. This card definitely made some waves when it was spoiled, and I think it's going to make even more waves when it actually hits the battlefield.
I was fortunate enough to be watching the live stream when they did. They talked about the whole set and all the archetypes and then some of the cool new cards, and they did the whole thing. And then they left. Screen went to black, and then this slowly flickered up on screen, and it was such an incredible moment. Yeah, it was very, very cool. And now I know there's a lot of people that are very upset that Tamiyo has succumbed to the Phyrexians. And yeah, to those people, I just got to say, suck it. No one cares. Taste it.
Oh, very good. But yeah, great card.
Love it.
Great art, great everything, great frame as well.
Very nice card.
Let's
Next.
move onwards to our second green-blue card. We've got the Colossal Sky Turtle. If you thought Sky Turtles couldn't be big enough, you haven't seen this guy. We've got a whopping 7 mana card, 4 double green and a blue for an enchantment creature that's a turtle that's a 6/5, flying and ward 2. And now this is where it gets good. While this thing is in your hand, you can channel it away for 2 and a green to return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Do it so it does a bit of its best sort of Ewit performance, or what is it? Reclamation, renewal, regrowth. Or you can channel it away for 1 and a blue, and you can bounce something, return target creature to its owner's hand. I think I like it.
Me too.
And probably less for the 7 mana 6/5 with flying and ward 2, but just for like this great like triple modal card that's like early in the game, it's a bounce spell.
Yep.
It can get back your favorite saga or whatever.
Get back
and
removal
then
spells.
Yeah, oh, it can too. Yeah, wow. It can get back your other Sky Turtles.
It's turtles all the way down.
Yeah, loop your Sky Turtles, and then once you find yourself with a Colossal Sky Turtle in hand on turn 7, you just play it and you beat them to death with it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, a triple modal, that's fantastic. Yeah, because none of those modes on their own are good, but the combination of all 3 on one card, I'm in. Love it.
Yeah, I kind of want to put this back in B. I think this is a B.
Back to Bs? I'm happy with back to Bs. Now,
back to Bs.
I have to ask, because I can't get this out of my head. Is this Sky Turtle wearing a white roast chicken on its back?
It kind of does look like that. It does kind of look like it's wearing a big roast chicken.
It's not just
no, it's
me,
not
right?
roast, because a roast would be a bit more golden. They've boiled the chicken.
A turtle carrying a boiled chicken. It's like British cuisine all over.
But card's great.
Card's great.
Let's
keep
move
carrying
onwards.
that boiled chicken, Colossal Sky Turtle.
And here's where we enter our multicolors. This is when it gets real crazy. We've got. Why don't you tell us about this one?
This is Ishin, 2 Heavens as 1, which looks like it belongs in a commander deck, but is somehow in our limited format. Costs Maru, red, white, black for a 3/4 legendary creature, human samurai. If a creature attacking causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. And Adrian is going to give us a fantastic portmanteau with Panharmonicon in 3, 2, 1.
It's a Tax Harmonicon.
It is a Tax Harmonicon. Very good. Do we like a Tax Harmonicon?
I want to like a Tax Harmonicon. I
wanna
really
like it as
do.
well.
I really want to love this card, and I really want to play it. But Mardu, and yes, we do have the support of the dual lands in this set. But tricky.
So I mean, I think it belongs best in red white.
Yes,
because that's got all of the beginning of combat. Whenever a creature attacks it alone, it gets blah blah blah. So if you can get your red white deck, splash a bit of black. It's just awkward though, because red white doesn't want to splash. You don't want to play tap lands.
No, this is true.
In your red white deck. We'll probably need to see how the format plays out a little bit to see how many of those attacking clauses there are. But I think I'm leaning. If you can get it into play, I reckon it'll play out like a B. I just don't think you're going to get it into play.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, this looks... Everything about it is fantastic. 3 mana, 3/4. It's a legendary creature. There's some legendary synergies in the set. And it's a Tax Harmonicon. Fantastic. Perfect for the red-white deck, but hard to cast.
What are you thinking for grade?
I think it is unfortunately completely let down by its mana cost, and maybe again we're completely sort of misjudging the ability to draft 3-color decks in this set because of the dual lands. But I kind of I'm feeling C+.
Ooh, that's even more generous than I was going. I was thinking C minus. Should we average it out at a C?
Average it out at a C. Yeah, I'm willing to give Ishin a C.
I hope it's good. I want it to be good, but I feel like that mana cost is going to be a little bit too prohibitive.
Yeah, there are a lot of cool cards in this set, and we're going to have to draft them all, and I hope this is one of them. This seems fun.
Agreed. Next card.
All right. Our second triple color card, we've got Hinata, the Dawn Crowned. 1 plus the Jeskai, so 4 mana all up. Legendary creature, Kirin Spirit. Flying and Trample. Spells you cast cost 1 less for each target, and spells your opponent cost 1 more for each target. Again, sort of got some Ishin problems, but I think this one's abilities are stronger.
Interesting. I was thinking the opposite.
Because all your removals, this basically says removal spells cost 1 less.
Yeah.
And all of your opponent's removal spells cost 1 more. And it's a 4/4 flying and trample.
Agreed. That's also how I read it. Your combat tricks cost 1 less as well, but that's not going to come up as often. How would you feel about it if it was 4/4 flying trample goblin electromancer?
Spells you cast cost 1. But then it's got to tax them. I want it to tax them.
Yeah, my issue with it is... hang on, my issue with it is that... oh man, I've been itching to make a joke like that for ages.
No.
I remembered all of... why didn't I think of this on the last card? I need to pick up my game. Okay, yeah, my problem with it is I feel like the first ability works with maybe 3 cards in your deck. The second ability works against maybe 3 cards in their deck. And it's a 1 mana either way. It's good.
Yeah. See, you're doing that thing where you convince me again.
It's good. But compared to Ishin, like Ishin's going to give you potentially a card's worth of value every turn.
This is potentially true.
So I'm Hinata as high on this one as I was on Ishin.
You're Hinata's high on this one?
No, Hinata's high.
What shall we Dawn Crown it with? What rating shall we Dawn Crown it with?
Yeah, look, I'm a little bit Dawn on this one. Sorry, okay. But she is with all of that said, she's a 4/4 flying trample for 4, which is great stats. This is a little bit easier. I think Jeskai is going to be more okay with splashing than Mardu. If this is anything like Ikoria was, I played a lot of Jeskai decks in Ikoria. So even though I like the ability less, I think you're going to be able to cast it a whole lot more often. So I think this is C+ to B-. What do you feel?
Yeah, I think you have turned me around on it. I think this is a C+.
Okay, yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, so
I like C+.
Get your Jeskai's going, and maybe tell us how this plays out for you once you get to give it a go in limited. Let us know.
Agreed. There's some I've seen some nutty talk about the things people are going to do with that in Commander, because there's a lot of cards that cost X, where X is the number of targets.
Oh, nice.
So that just levels that at 0, basically. So yeah, if you're a Commander player and you like the idea of bouncing all of your opponent's creatures for 3 mana, or dealing 3 damage to every creature. Yeah, there's some very cool things. So if you're a Commander player, look into that. All right, last multicolor card is...
Last multicolor card, the Kami War.
Oh, this is a spicy one. The Kami War is a saga that costs 1 and Wooburg. We don't see 5-color cards very often. This one's
We
exciting.
don't.
Chapter 1, Mythic Rare. Chapter 1, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Chapter 2, return up to one other target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Then each opponent discards a card. Chapter 3, exile and transform, and it becomes... drumroll please... Okagachi Made Manifest. 6/6 enchantment creature, dragon spirit. It is all colors, it has flying and trample. Whenever Okagachi Made Manifest attacks, defending player chooses a non-land card in your graveyard. Return that card to your hand. Okagachi gets +X/+O until end of turn, where X is the mana value of that card. They pay you off for playing 5 colors.
They really do. They've definitely decided that if you can cast this, you can get some cool stuff going.
Yeah. So I mean, on power level, it's A, possibly even S tier. The question is going to be, how easy is it to assemble Wooburg?
This is that's really the question, I think, that defines this card. I think, how effectively can you actually get this down at turn 6 at really the earliest?
Yeah, and this is cool because I don't think it needs to come down on turn 6. It doesn't need to come down on curve. If you play this at any point in the game, you will probably win. You get to take out their best. You get to take out their best threat on the first chapter. You get to take out their next best threat on the next chapter, and then you get the best threat on the battlefield on the next chapter. It's pretty sick. The presence of the dual lands. Now, I'm not 100% certain on this, but I believe the dual lands take the place of a basic land in the packs some percentage of the time. I don't know how common that makes them. So we'll have to wait and see on that front.
Yeah.
I'm leaning optimistic on this. I reckon if you first pick this and then just take every bit of fixing that you see, I reckon you can make it work.
So that's the thing. I mean, the reverse side, very, very strong. 6/6 flying with trample that gets you your cards back. Sure, it's your defending player's choice, but it's still cards. And then you hit them for even more. I think it's really strong, but just trying to get it down, oofed.
I'm starting optimistic. I'm going to go B+.
Ooh.
I reckon this... I mean, part of this will depend on the format speed as well. I've noticed there are a lot of good aggro cards in this set, so it's entirely possible the set is too fast to be derping around with 5-color nonsense. But I have never let that stop me before, and I don't intend to let it start now. So I reckon I'd be drafting this highly to begin with.
What do you reckon?
I like B+.
You like B+? I think I'm with you. I'll take the optimistic stance as well. I don't know about it. I think we'll have to find out. But yeah, B+. This thing, I think power level alone, it's an S. But taken down a few pegs by its mana cost, I think B+ is probably not a bad place for it.
Agreed. I'm going to be a happy man if I get to have Okagachi on the battlefield at some point this format.
Oh yeah.
And I believe that is all of our multicolors. Next up is going to be colorless. There should be a clickable link up on the screen very shortly, and this will also be in a playlist. So don't go anywhere. Colorless up next.
And if you do want to see a Kamigawa Neon Dynasty draft from us the moment the set is live on YouTube, all you need to do is remember what to call a werewolf on YouTube.
It's a like and subscribe.